Hey, Sunday, August the 13th, 2017, 10-minute daily reality check in the middle of a great weekend with my little Layla, which is always fun. Yesterday, I went to a kid's birthday party, John.
Yeah.
And John's got a funny analogy about kids' birthday parties. I think John would rather go to a gay club and flirt with a woman that had a mustache than go to a child's party.
I would rather go to a gynecologist's office and wait in the waiting, or a proctologist's office and wait in the waiting room for 3 hours than go to a children's birthday party.
I know you're really funny, man. When it comes down to like the kids' parties, you're like, whoa. I remember we were playing with Layla one time, and you're like, dude, I don't know how you do this.
Yeah, it was a lot, man. Oof. I mean, I guess that's what I asked you. The big question was, I guess if it's your own kid, it's a lot more fun, right? I mean, because other than that, I mean, let's be honest. You really have to kind of retard yourself down, no?
You know, I hang out with my girlfriend's kids, and I enjoy them because they're an extension of her. So, and they're a lot of fun, and I enjoy being with them. And it's different, you know, and I think we have an asterisk to it. You know, if it's your own kid, absolutely. If it's your girlfriend's kids, or if you're a woman and it's your boyfriend's kids, absolutely. You know, you probably enjoy them immensely because you enjoy the person that you're being with. But, you know, when you go and visit a friend and, you know, you hang out with their kid and their kid makes you play Chutes and Ladders over and over again, or it looks at you and says, John, and you say, yes, can you make the stuffed animal drive?
Well, so you're saying it is fun. I mean, I don't have a kid, but I'm sure one day I will, and I'm sure it will be fun, right?
Yeah, you know, it's fun. Once it's your kid, it's really different. I mean, you know, granted, there are definitely some things, you know, my daughter's past that age where, you know, we're playing baby games. You know, she used to play like, Daddy, let's go play baby, you know, and baby would consist of her laying there on the bed going, wah, wah, wah. And I would have to go and pretend to change her diaper and, you know, and then talk to her. And then, you know, she would start talking to me, but she doesn't understand babies don't talk. And we'd play that game over and over again. I would usually sometimes fall asleep during that game because it was definitely like watching paint dry. But it's just a stage they go through, you know. And now, you know, you get them to play Old Maid and you get them to play War and you get them to play this. And it's just all different, you know. But it's funny because I used to hang out with people's kids too, and I used to think the same thing. It's like, holy shit, I can't do that. And you know what's worse though, John?
What?
What's worse is when you go to a kid's birthday party and you're there and you just don't vibe with half the parents that are there. It's not that they're not good people, you know, it's just chemistry, it's being aligned, you know, socially, being aligned mentally, and you're thrown into a room with a bunch of people that after about 2 minutes sometimes, the conversations will get really dull because this is just somebody you're not vibing with, but yet you got to go spend 3 hours at the party. So I've got a trick at all the kids' parties. I mean, there's some parents that I absolutely think are fantastic, and I love talking to them, and they're great. They're the ones that I just don't get along with. Not that they're not great. It's just they're not my people. So I'm the guy. I'm the bouncy house inspector. I literally go and hang out by the side of the bouncy house and play with the kids the whole time because I've never met a kid that's not fun, but I've met many adults that are really boring. No matter what they put on their social media, I'm sorry, having a conversation with them, I'd rather go to the proctologist's office and get a colonoscopy every single day.
Well, so wait. So this should bring us back to the point of this thing. Is there a point? Is the point that it's really hard and boring to be a parent, or is it exciting?
No, it's great to be a parent. You know, I mean, it's wonderful to be a parent. Are there moments of being a parent where, you know, you just think to yourself like, whoa, what am I doing? I don't really know what I'm doing right now. You know, I mean, you can read all you want. And I think that's a lot of the problem with a lot of these parents. You know, they read and they read other people's opinions on parenting, and then they formulate that based on reading. You and I, John, you know, we read a book because we enjoy it and we get some information, but you and I are very instinctual in life. So parenting is a really great way to hone in on your instincts. You know, as long as you come from an open heart and you're full of love and patience and, you know, understanding it. And there's discipline as well, you know, and I think, you know, there are times, and I've admitted it to you, you know, I definitely have not been great at discipline with my daughter. And I think that caused some of the problems that, I'm having right now with my daughter not sleeping over, because there's no boundaries. Kids need boundaries. And I was always,
You know what I think?
always too afraid to do boundaries.
I'll tell you right now, you want to solve this problem. How old's that kid now?
That kid, if we're talking my daughter, she is a 6 and 11/12.
Wait, so she's 6 and 11/12, and you haven't put her to work yet, right? She doesn't have a job. She's not dishwashing. She's not delivering newspapers. Nothing, right?
No, really. What am I gonna do? Take her to China on vacation with me and go put her in a sweat lot?
That's what I think. I mean, I think in America we're waiting way too long to put people to work. Let's get this out there. I mean, how much money is this? How much money is this kid costing you? Right? Some freeloader.
It's a depreciating asset, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like a car. It's like, here's this kid. This kid's going to be $500,000 later, and what is it going to do? I mean, I get to turn her, and it's funny. A lot of parents will look and go, "Well, I got to create a great human." You didn't fucking create a great human. You guided somebody. This human was not put on this earth for you to work through your fucked up shit. This human was put on this earth for you to guide and for you to love and for you to show a lot of, patience and stuff and boundaries. It's interesting when you sit around with other parents and you take a look and you recognize, your own mistakes that you do, because when you see other kids don't do some of the stuff that your kids do and you listen to the way people parent, you look and go, wow, okay, I need to do that. I need to learn that. And to me, what I love about being around other parents is I ask lots of questions and I say, God, my daughter really doesn't have boundaries. And I look at their boundaries and I learn, okay, I got to speak to my daughter this way, or I have to, I have to speak to her and have this type of conversation with her. So it's a lot of trial and error too. And I think the beauty is that as long as you love them every single day, and you won't fuck them up, but it's when you love a child, John, and you want to, and you make your child everything in your life. There's a lot of parents that are helicopter moms or smother mothers or hover dads, and what they do is they make the child everything. So that child really fucking becomes codependent and really gets fucked up, later on in life.
Well, okay. Well, this is really interesting. I mean, this wasn't what we were going to talk about today, but I think it's what we are talking about, right?
Yeah, obviously, because I went to that party yesterday.
Yeah, so I mean, we were going to talk about social media, but I think we're going to have to do that tomorrow because
we can do social media tomorrow.
Yeah, because this now is more of a comment about parenting and what it is to be a parent, which I think is interesting. Because if you read the book The Prophet by Gibran, however you say his name, Cahill Gibran, he really talks about, and this is also in a lot of, it's in some other books, but he said there's a quote in there where he talks about you are not your parents. You came through your parents to be here, but you are not. They are not yours, and you are not theirs. You are your own. And I think that was a really interesting thing you said, because a lot of people get, especially in older cultures or cultures stuck in the past or things like that. They're hooked on the taking care of their parents till the day they die and doing what their parents want to do. I mean, taking care of your parents is a nice thing, but not becoming your own person, doing what your parents want to do, or you'll be disowned. These kind of things. So that's and that's a real part of society still. Do what we want to do, or you are not us. And but you said something else. She is not yours. You're here to guide her and to set her free to be the best her she can be. And at the end of the day, you're not hers either.
No, she's not here to work out my fucked up shit from childhood.
Right.
And I see a lot of mothers and fathers doing that. They're, a lot of fathers will push their sons into athletes or the doctor that they never were because, they're basically working through their own childhood shit. I see a lot of mothers who had a fear of abandonment as a kid or were abandoned as a kid, and then they hover over their kids and they smother the hell out of them. And they have this, they turn their child into a codependent fucking neurotic mess that can't be around any other kid. They can be around the kids as long as mommy's around, but they can't sleep at grandma's house or they can't sleep at their friend's house because they get all full of anxiety because their mother can't let go of them or their father. It doesn't really make much of a difference. It could be either parent. And you see a lot of that because you watch those dynamics in play. And when I was a kid, John, my mother and dad used to drop me off at my grandma Rose's house. for 10 days when they went to the Bahamas, and it taught me how to be independent. You know, I was fine. I survived. I was okay without mommy and daddy. You know, I didn't cry for mommy and daddy. You know, I had an opportunity to go and grow and be independent. I was sent to summer camp at 8 years old, you know, sleepaway camp for 8 weeks, because my mom wanted me to be independent, not codependent. And I think the problem is you've got these codependent women and codependent men. They get involved in a bad codependent relationship. The relationship doesn't work. The child comes, and they give all their codependency onto the child. So the child becomes absolutely suffocated by the parents. You know, I mean, it's too much for the kid. And then what happens is they're sending the kid into the future, and the kid later on turns into a fucking codependent person, gets involved in abusive relationships because they're codependent. I mean, you and I know this, John, because we've been coaching people, and we see what happened to these adults through their childhood. Because one of the things that you and I always ask when we're coaching people is, all right, who fucked you up, your mother or your father? You know, and they always come up with a very clear answer. Oh, it was my mom. You know, oh, it was my dad. You know, and I see it all the time with kids running around, and it's scary because you and I have that vision of the future that this codependent smother mother or helicopter dad doesn't fucking have.
So what do you think now then is, for a guy like me, a single guy who's probably going to have a kid one day, what do you tell him? I mean, let me ask you a really true question. Let's be honest. I guess you can't be too honest, but let me probe you a little bit. Does it really make life better to have a kid, or is it just like, do you wish you were, you know, I mean, obviously it's your life and there's a lot of joy in it, but do you think it adds another dimension to life that's necessary for every person to have?
You know, honestly,
yeah.
My daughter has changed me immensely. Do I like the fact that I've got to deal with her mom? No. Do I like some of the things that have gone down with her mom? Not at all. Could I have lived without that dynamic? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. You know, if I didn't have my kid, would I still have a spectacular life? Abso-fucking-lutely. I'd be traveling the world. I'd be doing the things that I love to do. But with the love of my daughter, it's just a different path. You know, there's no right or wrong thing. I'll never be somebody to tell somebody, you know, because I never thought I was going to have a kid. So why don't you have a kid and it's going to change you? I am in full gratitude for the opportunity to be with my daughter, full gratitude to have her love and the relationship I have with her in my life and how it's changed me. But everybody's got a different path. And the way I look at it is, there's no right or wrong thing. It doesn't make you a better person because you have a child. You can become a better person with or without a child. A great person is not great because they have a child. I know many smother mothers, helicopter dads that really are shitty fucking people. They live lies. They're not authentic. They're not in gratitude. Their kid didn't do anything except make them even more of an asshole than they already were. So,
well, I've seen a lot of, like, I've known people like I knew this one guy, his dad was a hotshot lawyer from New Jersey, and then all this kid was a sociopath who would sue anyone he got into a disagreement with, and the dad backed him up because that was the only relationship they had, is that they could sue people together. So, I mean, I don't think everybody has, I mean, a lot of the world's problems were created by people, the kids people had and the people who had the kids. So we can't say that anyone who had a kid is a good person.
Well, yeah, not only that, John, I mean, the problem is a lot of people fuck up the kids too. So, you know, it's like, your journey is what your journey. I think that's the way we need to end it, you know, today, is whatever your journey is, embrace it, you know, and as long as you're growing every single day, as long as you wake up every day and say to yourself, you know, another fucking great day to be alive. I'm really happy to be alive. I'm really happy to have this opportunity to live my life, you know, as long as you're growing, you're getting therapy, you're working with coaches, you're reading books, you're living an authentic, honest life, then that's all you can ask for. And if you happen to have a kid, then you're going to teach that kid that same beautiful lesson about being authentic and honest. And nobody can tell you having a kid is better than not having a kid, because we're all here on this planet to have a different journey. So if you meet somebody who doesn't want a kid, don't convince them to have a kid. Allow them to have their beautiful, magical journey, because that's what life is all about. The universe gives you and God gives you exactly what you have coming to you. So just embrace it and love it, man. This was a great one. Should we talk about, social media tomorrow and just dumb it down a little bit after such a deep topic today?
Well, I mean, it's not very dumb, that social media stuff. I mean, it's dumb, but it's not dumb. It's our whole lives are ruled by it. So we'll get into it.
All right, cool. John Keegan, David Wygant out, 10-minute daily reality check. Spread this all over the internet and give us your feedback and opinions. Also, please rate us on iTunes. It would be greatly appreciated. And we will see you tomorrow for Monday. Remember, we're going to have a lot of Montauk, New York, fucking The Affair. Great TV show based out of Montauk. I'm going to Montauk to have my own journey this week. It's got nothing to do with having an affair, because that's the last thing I would do.
Come on back tomorrow for more self-help that do not suck.